These are 5 secrets to potentially double your injury claim. Number 1, seek medical attention right away and tell them why you're there. If you don't tell the doctor that you're there because I was just in an accident or I just had a slip and fall, your medical records are not going to be sufficient. You need to tell them why you're there and get attention right away, because if you even wait just a day to get medical treatment, it's going to be used against you like, oh, they weren't really that injured because they didn't go to the doctor for a day. They didn't go to the doctor for 2 weeks. Get medical attention right away. Number 2, you want to use technology to your advantage. For example, our firm likes to take the extra step when necessary to download something called the black box or EDR data directly from your vehicle and from the at-fault driver's vehicle. This type of data can show us, for example, how fast the cars were going, what direction the steering wheel was pointing in the seconds before the crash. Sometimes there's even photographs, still photographs available taken from the front and back of your vehicles, depending on the make and model, that can prove where you were in the intersection at the time of the crash. For example, in the cases where we've done this, we were able to prove in a he said, she said accident that my client actually had the green light, even though the other driver was adamant that she had the green light when she was making a left-hand turn in front of him. If we hadn't used the technology to our advantage, our client would have been stuck with 50% liability assessed against them. So we were able to successfully double his personal injury recovery just by spending a few $1,000s on this technology. The third way you can potentially double your personal injury recovery is by not forgetting about future care. A lot of times when you're in a significant crash, you could be found to have sustained a permanent injury that's going to be with you for the rest of your life. That means that you're going to have future medical expenses, MRIs, future follow-up care, injections, possible surgery. Especially if you're a young person, these injuries are only going to get worse the longer that you're alive. And so in these cases, we can hire someone called a life care planning expert. And this is either a doctor or a professional who is very familiar with the costs of care and will speak directly with your treating doctors to find out what their plan is for you for your future care, how much that care is going to cost. And this is a very valuable settlement tool to use these cost projections in order to potentially double your personal injury recovery by not forgetting about this important future care. It's not only about the injuries and the treatment that you've sustained in the past, but we also need to look about what you may need in the future. Number 4, investigate. It is so important to do a proper investigation on every claim, or else you're leaving money on the table. For example, you want to find out if the defendant was working at the time. If they were, their employer could be on the hook. You could also find out if they have additional insurance elsewhere. You can ask the defendant to submit something called an affidavit of no other insurance. Maybe they have an umbrella policy that their own insurance company doesn't know about. Another important aspect of investigation is making sure to request the 911 calls that were made from the scene of the crash. You might be able to find witnesses. You might be able to get an admission from the defendant that they said that they were at fault. You would never know this unless you request the 911 calls and the body cam footage if the police happen to have it on at the time. These are all important parts of an investigation. And I'm going to give you an example. My firm recently was contacted by someone who was involved in an accident that was caused by a delivery driver for a popular pizza chain restaurant. And the insurance company initially denied responsibility and said that woman was not our employee. She was a rideshare driver that was just picking up food for a company like Uber Eats. Well, I requested the 911 calls and the body camera footage from the police, and lo and behold, this woman is wearing a uniform from the company. She's got a hat on, she's got a shirt on, she has the pizza logo on her vehicle. She's saying to the police officer, yep, I was just delivering a pizza. She's an employee, she's not an independent contractor, and that made all the difference. It went from there being $0 in insurance coverage to over $1 million in insurance coverage. So that's another thing that you should do to be able to try to double your personal injury recovery. And the last thing, the 5th thing that you want to do is make sure that you're hiring an attorney, just like us at Warner and Fitzmartin, someone who's going to investigate the case for you, make sure, keep on top of you to get your medical treatment that you need, who's going to take the extra step of using technology to prove your case. All of these things combined are things that you can do to make sure that you have your best chance at doubling your personal injury recovery.